State of New California. Notice to all Californians. Grievance 69. May 21st, 2019. New California is a new state in development, exercising its constitutional right to form from the state of California. The process to form New California is authorized and codified in Article 4, Section 3 and 4 of the United States Constitution. Statement of intent. The citizens of New California have decided to remedy the abuse of power by the government of California by exercising their right to form a new state provided in the United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 3 and 4. Quote, "We are determined to live under a state government in the United States of America and under the Constitution of the United States." End quote. New California Declaration of Independence of January 15th, 2018 states, quote, "Whenever any form of government becomes destructive, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government. When a long train of abuses and acts seize and hold the people's power without legal authority and pursuing invariably the same object that clearly demonstrates a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security." End quote. Preamble of the New California State Constitution states, quote, "We the representatives of the undersigned counties within the state of California do acknowledge and humbly invoke the favor of Almighty God for continued civil and religious liberty to ourselves and our posterity." End quote. First Amendment of the United States Constitution states, quote, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances." The counties of New California bring forward 95 grievances to be announced in public on Tuesday at 11 a.m. State of New California Grievance 69. Declaration of Grievance. Statement of Facts. The people of California are suffering from a tyrannical state government which fails to provide a Republican form of governance, enables and supports across its southern border the invasion of the United States of America by illegal foreign nationals, and protects vicious criminals who commit outrageous acts of violence upon the citizens of America, all caused by a government of and for a monoparty system led by a tyrannical dictator who openly defies federal law. California state government is in direct violation of the following: United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 4, quote, "The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or the executive when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence." End quote. United States Constitution, Article 6, Section 2, quote, "This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding." End quote. Taxation without representation is the order of the day. Quote, "No taxation without representation," quote, end quote, is a slogan originating during the 1700s that summarized one of 27 colonial grievances of the American Declaration Independence of the colonists in the 13 colonies, which was one of the major causes of the American Revolution. In short, many in those colonies believed that as they were not directly represented in the distant British Parliament, any laws that passed affecting the colonists were not justified. The firm belief that a government should not tax a populace unless that populace is somehow represented in the government developed in the English Civil War following the refusal of parliamentarian John Hampden to pay ship money tax. Quote, "No tax without representation," end quote, in the context of British American colonial taxation appeared for the first time in the February 1768 in the printing of Lord Camden's speech on the Declaratory Bill of Sovereignty of Great Britain over the colonies. For those sympathetic to republicanism, any tax revenues measures that were voted into effect without the direct representation of Americans were, quote, "unconstitutional," end quote, and, quote, "pernicious," end quote. Thinkers of the time felt that virtual representation was, quote, subversive of liberty, end quote, and unjust in the principles, end quote, and that the British House of Commons must include colonial representatives when it voted on colonial matters or operate by using the consent of the colonial assemblies. So it is with the state of California that it has become a virtual taxation centralized government that does not represent the citizens of the United States living in California. California has the highest taxes across the board of any state in the Union, yet with massive spending on social programs and corrupt payoffs to socialist cronies, the state of California is failing to pay the basic bills due to vendors who provide essential services. Reports are now coming in that those who do business with the state of California are not being paid in a timely manner. This is not new to those who have done business with the state of California. The state has been and made a habit to be a slow payer. What is new is the cash flow into the state that have slowed dramatically, making it an acute crisis for the state of California to provide the essential services to maintain the requirements of Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution. Blatant violations of the United States Constitution by the California Socialist Governor and Socialist Legislature have become a regular and common occurrence. Enabled by an annual 11-month legislative cycle, the number of bills introduced in the legislature is not just staggering, but allows for maximum violations of the United States Constitution. So it is the case with California. Article 4, Section 4 states, quote, "The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government," end quote. A republican form of government is what the government must guarantee to every citizen of the United States. The definition of republic refers specifically to a form of government in which elected officials represent the citizen body, and exercise power according to the rule of law under a constitution, including the separation of powers, with an elected head of state, referred to as a constitutional republic. In the words of the Declaration of Independence, governments derive, quote, "their just powers from the consent of the governed," end quote. Without that consent, governments are tyrannies, unjustly handing out penalties or sweetheart deals with the stolen power they have seized by force or manipulation. Obedience to the rogue government of California is disobedience to the United States Constitution. Insurrection. The government of California, the current socialist governor and monoparty system, along with local officials, are following a coordinated design with the intent to actively engage in acts of insurrection against the U.S. Constitution. The Insurrection Act of 1807 is a United States federal law that governs the ability of the President of the United States to deploy military troops within the United States to put down lawlessness, insurrection, and rebellion. Acts of secession. Therefore, the California government, in conjunction with the socialist state executive instituted wherever the current socialist governor has usurped power, has created a reign of terror on the United States citizens living in California with the intent to secede from the United States of America and thus destroy the very union of states which secures our liberty and freedom. Abdication of authority. Betrayal by the sitting socialist governor of California, the monoparty legislature, and local elected officials is evidence of abdication of their responsibilities of authority and sovereignty over the state and citizens of the United States living in California. Prayer. The citizens of New California State pray for the President to exercise his authority under the Insurrection Act of 1807 to end the tyranny being foisted upon the United States citizens living in California State. This concludes these proceedings. For more information and to donate, please visit our website at newcaliforniaoc.org. Thank you.